Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Sunday Funday. As you can kind of tell, if it's not 100% clear of my scratchy throat, I'm a bit under the weather. I have been going through the ups and downs of the weather changing. So, because of that, I've lost a good chunk of my voice. I sound better than I did earlier today. Like, earlier today, I had no voice. Today, or now, I have a bit of one. So, sorry, you had to deal with me sounding like I'm constantly need to clear my throat. And I'm going to try not to, and also I have coughs going on, so yay. And also, poor Megan's as well. She's a little bit under the wire. She's like
It took me a little bit longer, but yeah, it's starting to affect me too with the weather.
Yeah, thankfully Megan's not as bad as I am right now. Knock on wood.
I almost have like a sexy phlegm going on sometimes.
Two words don't go together. Sexy and phlegm. Sexy hoarseness sounds good. Sexy phlegm sounds disgusting. It sounds like you're hawking loogies on somebody during sex.
I'm more thinking of like one of the few Friends episodes I've seen.
Yeah, it's just no good. You just haven't watched enough Friends. But hey, we're distracting enough. We're not talking about the movie that we saw, which of course was Venom. The big movie that everybody went to see, $80 million this weekend, which not too big of a surprise, but also kind of underwhelming, I almost think. Especially in this day and age when $100 million is not unheard of easily. And since Megan wasn't able to really lead us off last week because I jumped in because I had so much I need to get off my chest, what did you think about Venom?
You're trying to pawn this all off on me so you don't have to talk very much.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to try and say stuff, but I already can tell this is annoying sounding. It doesn't feel good either. So, Megan can talk, and she can say what she wants to say.
The not very talkative person gets to carry the video.
Yep, here's the load. So what did you think of Venom?
I may or may not be alone in this opinion, but I liked it. I didn't think it was so terrible.
I'm not of the same mind as her.
I was going to say, clearly he disagrees.
Well,
and so is a friend of ours, but I think it doesn't help that you and him are both, like, major comic book fans.
Yeah, we both go way back with the comic books. Venom is one of my favorite characters, just throw it out there. Realistically, like, the hierarchy of characters, and I know it makes no damn sense. If I go by Marvel alone, you got Captain America, of course, he's my favorite. He's my absolute favorite character of all time. Maybe then right underneath him will be Venom. So yeah, you got my second favorite character, so you got to do some justice to him. I will say more in a bit, because I want Megan to say what she liked about the movie.
Well, it was certainly funnier than Night School.
That's not saying much. The Holocaust was funnier than Night School.
Like, it didn't have nearly as many jokes. Not even, half or a third of the jokes of Night School, and it still managed to be funnier than Night School.
Well, it helps that Tom Hardy's a lot funnier than Kevin Hart's can ever even dream of being sometimes. That's a problem. Kevin Hart could be funny. Night School is not one of those times.
I think Kevin Hart is funny in some things he does, but just I would say trying and failing and just falling flat on his face in Night School. But yeah, it had some funny moments, and Tom Hardy I thought did a pretty good job acting
as Eddie Brock, of course.
Yeah.
Those who do not know.
I'm not really a fan of the comics. So I hear the name Eddie Brock, I can't help but think of Topher Grace from Spider-Man 3.
But see, that's also kind of telling right there. And it's another issue I kind of had. It's like, do I need to say my opinion real quick?
No.
Well, I'll just say it's like, yeah, it still doesn't help that when you think of Eddie Brock, I think of the animated series. I think of Topher Grace. I don't 100% think of Tom Hardy. Nothing against Tom Hardy. That's good, but I'll say more here in a bit. when I can talk. Yes, continue, please.
I don't know, what was I saying?
You were talking about Tom Hardy did good.
Yeah, he did a good job. The lady who played his girlfriend, not so much.
Like, I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes into the movie. They have something that Eddie Brock, he is a hotshot kind of reporter, and he tends to really go after
Yeah,
people.
he has like his own show, pretty much on like.
It's like a not YouTube thing, and people sometimes, some more powerful people don't like that he's very straightforward, and also he's like, hey, I'm going to say it this way. And he's going to expose their lies. Like, he would really love going after Jeff Bezos, and exposing the fact that he's a rich, greedy son of a bitch. Just saying. And that kind of...
Yeah, he's not afraid to dig for the truth and expose it. He's
very much basic parameters, like how the original comic book character is, though not 100% as lucky as, he's a little bit luckier, I think, than the original Eddie Brock. The Eddie Brock, he just had no luck whatsoever.
Oh, so based on my life?
No.
No.
But, yeah, he does this one thing for this, it's called the Life Foundation. Those who do read, or whoever did read the 90s Venom comics, Life Foundation's not a surprising name. It's as 90s as you can get. Anybody who wants to know the actual, what do? They do science stuff. They do whatever the plot needs them to do. This movie, the same thing. In all reality, there's
they try and cure cancer and find other planets for us human beings to populate.
Yeah, because
we're
he's
running out of
Elon
room.
Musk.
I would say we're running out of room and resources.
Thanos fixed that, no problem.
Yeah, that's the solution.
This one guy, he's Elon Musk, but he's evil. And Eddie Brock's supposed to interview him, and originally the editor, he's like, well, I want you to interview him, but he's only going to do this, so don't press him on stuff. It's like, why are you going to send your investigative reporter to go do that? Your investigative reporter who is going to look up this kind of crap and who does this kind of digging. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
His girlfriend works for a law firm that has the Life Foundation as a client.
Yeah.
And so she's privy to some very confidential information that he ends up getting his hands on.
And he uses it to try and pretty much push the guy and, trying to, like, hey, let me expose some of your bullshit you do. And then this gets him fired. The girlfriend
gets her fired too, because they figure out that his source was his girlfriend.
Yeah, and then she gets mad, I think, because she does this.
She throws down the box as she's leaving her work. She throws down. Throws down the box of her stuff.
I do.
Onto the ground for emphasis.
Emphasis.
I said emphasis.
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 There's an M there. You're not enunciating.
I'm saying emphasis.
Emphasis.
Emphasis. Emphasis.
And she also, everything she says is with this attitude. Mm-hmm. It's like she doesn't know what words are and is figuring them out as she is saying them. Holy shit, this lady's the worst actor I've seen since Tommy Wiseau for a long time. She is bored to tears in this movie.
No, maybe Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig can at least act if you watch her in other movies or in the Twilight films. It's like, that's the thing. This lady, I am saying words. They are words that are words. They're connected to words. She's terrible. Kristen Wiig, that's the thing of somebody else.
Honestly, I'm not talking about Kristen
stupid too.
Stewart.
Kristen Wiig, she can actually act if she's not having to do drama. Because drama, she always sounds like this.
Or comedy, because she's not really that funny.
Comedy, at least she puts some kind of emphasis into her voice. Yeah, emphasis. But, yeah, and she did that, and I even immediately looked over at Megan like it's a 5-10 minute movie. I went, I'm acting. I was like, okay, this is what kind of movie I'm getting into already. Yay. But go on, please. What else did you like about this movie?
I don't know, you made me lose my train of thought.
Well, what did you like about it? Did you like the 5-minute long story?
Yeah, I will say that it was good, but it was a little... I don't know. The pacing was...
It's slow.
It was... Well, the pacing was, like, really off. Like, you know, I was, getting into the story, and then, like, the confrontation with the big bad at the end, and then the end, like, okay, that's it?
The problem is this movie has no tempo. Most movies have a rising action, a crescendo almost, and then a falling action, and then sometimes they'll have another rising action at the end. This big action sequence. That's how the basic of a action movie tends to work. Hey, Johnny knows plot details and how it works. This movie has...
a refresher course for those of us that actually took English class.
This movie has a slow, not even rising action. It's like a slightly walking uphill action. Slight action and dips down and it ends. It's tepid at best. The overall plot is super simplistic, though it involves like these very wacky, obvious comic book elements, such as the fact the suit, the symbiote, or as they call it, symbiote. I don't know why they constantly pronounce it that way. And because it's one of those things where people are like, that's not how symbiote is pronounced, right? And a symbiote thing is not called a symbiote.
That pronounce it as symbiote.
Huh?
Or maybe some people in the world that pronounce it symbiote.
Yeah, we call those people morons.
No, I'm talking about, like, maybe possibly British?
It's set in San Francisco.
I know.
You can't give that excuse. That's like saying, it's like, well, the Malaysian people, they totally call chicken dogs. But it's set in Japan. It's a non sequitur of a statement. And even then, Tom Hardy's not British. If I'm not mistaken, he's either Welsh or he's Australian. I'm pretty sure he's Australian. So he was in Mad Max. Sorry, losing my voice.
Well, Australians are very closely related to the British. So
that's not a reason to call something a symbiote.
So maybe that's the reason why they pronounce it that way too. And maybe, even though he's using an American accent, maybe Tom Hardy just...
But he never refers to it as a symbiote. Everybody who is totally American is. That's the problem. You can't excuse stupid pronunciation with a non sequitur, unfortunately. I keep pounding the same words.
I don't know what to tell you then.
Since Megan doesn't have much, I'm going to steal a little soapbox. Mm-hmm. This movie's bad. It's very... This is fucking terrible, almost. Like, the more I thought about it, I originally thought this movie, okay, it's really not very good. This movie has no plot, almost. There's... Aliens come down thanks to a space shuttle MacGuffin. Which, yes, I know. Technically, that's how most comic books... It's all MacGuffins that move shit around. Sorry, I tried to not do that.
They collect specimens from a meteor rock.
No,
or
they
meteorite,
collected specimens from a comet. First off,
whatever.
What kind of technology are we talking about here? Somehow we're able to land on a comet that's moving millions of miles an hour? Holy shit, how fast was that shuttle going? Two, how deep are these shuttles going? Right now, we're lucky to have shuttles that can go to Mars. But somehow, this Elon Musk evil guy is able to shoot shuttles off to wherever, and not just robotic, drones in all essence. They're manned shuttle missions. I was like, hold on. I'm not trying to sit here and dissect your plot here, movie. But this is a lot silly right now. Like, this is sounding like a bad comic book, not even like a good one. But it's like, alright, so everybody has this fantastic technology, right? No. Just evil Elon Musk. And that's the other thing. I don't even remember this guy's name. I just kept referring to him in my head.
Drake.
He's evil Elon Musk. That's what I keep thinking of him as. He's evil Elon. We'll call him Double E. Sorry, I amuse myself sometimes.
Well, someone's gotta.
Yeah, that's what masturbation's for. Yeah, he shoots off and he collects these symbiotes. And turns out that eventually stuff happens. He wants to use these to help improve humanity, even though he has no reason to think that these things would be the thing that improve humanity. Considering they just happen to have stumbled across this comet and gathered samples of them. And we're bringing them back. Also, there's a plot hole. As anybody who's read the comic books, the symbiotes are weak to sound, high frequency sound waves, and fire, of course. Space shuttle, something happens to it, never explained, it just goes through the atmosphere and suddenly explodes. Which, it never explains that really well. Re-entry would have fried every single one of these things. They all would have been dead before they hit the ground. Plot hole. So, Tom Hardy comes in. Yay. He's good, but he's not Eddie Brock. That's just the biggest problem. And I can mostly chalk that up to how him and Venom talk to each other. How they're constantly working together. The comic books have some really silly moments whenever him and the suit are talking. But you just see Eddie Brock talking, in all essence. In a movie, that's not really going to work. How they do it would have worked here, where he's actually straight up just talking, and the suit is straight up talking back to him. You can hear the voices. Hey, that's cool. The problem is how their relationship is together. And that is where I have so many issues with this movie. And I admit, it's a comic book guy thing. But you're talking about my second favorite character. I'm fine with it not having Spider-Man if you can give me a good reason why it shouldn't be. And unfortunately, this movie does not give me any reason why I shouldn't have had Spider-Man here. One of the biggest things that helped to really bond together the symbiote and Eddie Brock into becoming Venom. That's another thing. The symbiote is called Venom. It's what they call themselves. They consider themselves Venom, a thing to kill a spider in all essence, as they thought of it, as something to go after Spider-Man. So, Eddie, doesn't have that crux. He doesn't have that, push to try and go after Spider-Man. The symbiote doesn't have that, push to want to try and kill Spider-Man, and really pull together and become a union. Instead, the first 3/4 of the symbiote being with Eddie Brock is the symbiote trying to control him, which defeats the entire purpose of calling it a symbiote. Or, I'm sorry, a symbiote. Maybe that's the reason why they called it that, because it's not really a symbiote. I want them to open up a dictionary. Look up the word symbiote. What does that mean? That means you have two species that may be cohabitating or straight up working together. Having one control and eat the other is not a symbiote, it's a parasite.
Which they keep calling him, and he keeps getting offended at it.
And it's one of those things like, it is then, if you're gonna make it do with this stupid shit and have all this other crap happen. You cannot sit there and say this is a symbiote when it's not causing anything to help him in any way.
It's not symbiotic.
Yeah, it's not symbiotic. It's parasitic. And not only that, but the relationship that him and the suit have, it's so off. They simply just exist together because, and it's the thing that actually made me almost like, no, I'm done with this movie at this point. Was when the suit was like, well, I kind of like it now. And, you know, it's kind of loser, and he's going to call in all my other symbiote friends, and I don't want that. The fuck you, movie. Fuck you up the ass.
Yeah, the other symbiotes have a plan to destroy Earth and just eat everybody. But
why? That's not symbiotes at that point. It's just, it's such a hole in terms of simple, like, naming conventions. And not only that, but also, why would they worry about destroying Earth? Why not just keep riding around this comet until they find something? How dare I point out logic? Oh, and and I have to also touch on something else. The climax for this movie, the ending of it, it's the weakest damn thing you've seen in a while. The CGI throughout this entire movie is really bad. It's obnoxiously just like, oh, well, we put $14 into this. Thanks. You're acting exactly like Amazon, putting as little money into it as possible and expecting the best results. So the final fight is between the Venom symbiote, as they constantly keep referring to it, and this other one called, and it's
Riot.
Riot. And it's such a stupid name. I know that was a name that when the symbiotes gave it, or when the symbiotes in separation anxiety gave it, the guy and the symbiote gave themselves. But Jesus, does it sound stupid when a symbiote's referring to itself like that? And yeah, it somehow takes over EE, and we're supposed to care. And we're all supposed to be surprised. Oh, he's evil. He's spent an entire movie making him evil. I'm just so baffled by that. What would have been a much better thing, and still, the movie still sucks too much to get beyond it, if instead it had been revealed through the entire time that EE was already a symbiont.
Or possessed.
No, that he was just a symbiont. That he was actually, trying to find a way to contact his other brethren. That would have been much more interesting, and he just kind of has been, taking on the form of a human. Because that is the thing a symbiotes can do. They can camouflage. They can sometimes formulate, look human. Symbiotes also can kind of just do what the plot fucking needs them to at times. That's how the comics do it.
Okay.
But, instead you get this not interesting bad guy with a not interesting reason. I'm doing it to conquer world. Thanks. I don't care. And all of it was shitty CGI, and the Venom suit looking like this, just as exactly as it put A turd floating in the wind. It's just this goofy looking goo is the best way to describe it. It's bad that the shitty suit that Topher Grace had in in Spider-Man 3 looks so much better. And that's saying something. It looked like an actual suit. This just looks like a CGI blob that's walking on the screen. Yeah. Oh, and just to let y'all know, in spoilers, the movie teases Carnage. Woo.
Yeah, there's a mid-credit scene that features him, and the end-credit scene has
so much better.
Has nothing to do with Venom. It's actually a preview for
Into the Spider-Verse, which looks so good. It's funny. It was action-packed. It looked gorgeous on top of it all. It made me just realize how bad of a movie I was just sitting through. And that's Venom in a nutshell. It's poorly paced. It's poorly written. Like, there is some really terrible writing throughout this entire movie. And I don't know if that's because, like, some characters decided to ad-lib and they said these really stupid fucking lines and they left that as the final take. But, like, there's sometimes when you sit and go, what the fuck? Tom Hardy is good. I will give him that. But damn, does he not make up for the rest of this movie. And also the fact that this is a bastardization of a character. I mean, those who got mad about Superman being poorly represented in Man of Steel and Superman Dawn of Justice, the misrepresentation of Batman in Superman Dawn of Justice, pardon me, I keep going with that, or hell, who got mad about the misrepresentation of Venom, or more importantly, Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 3, this movie does worse, I think. That is saying a mouthful. This movie is not a better Eddie Brock. In fact, the acting is better. There is some funnier stuff, but this is not Eddie Brock. This is not Venom. This is simply something that wants to call itself that. And instead, this is a forgettable action flick. Hell, you can barely even call it that. There's barely any action in the movie. So, what would you give this movie as a final score through my hoarseness?
I'd have to say a 6.
A 6? You were saying a little bit higher earlier.
I was thinking a 7 earlier.
But
Then I got to thinking about some of the pacing and story issues and
bad acting.
Well, I'm mainly just focused on Tom Hardy.
But that's the thing. He seems to be almost second fiddle at points. Because we have to have EE constantly walking around being evil. Might as well be twirling a mustache.
So what would you give this?
2.
You were going to give it 3 earlier.
I thought about the fact that the only thing I liked about was Tom Hardy. But other than that, there's nothing to like about this movie. Tom Hardy does do good, but it's such a piss poor movie. It would be like if in Iron Man, instead of him wearing an Iron Man suit, he threw chunks of iron at people and they said that's totally what Iron Man is. This feels like a first draft that they're like, fuck it, we'll go with that. That will be our movie. I think the first trailers that we saw that looked really, really bad with unrendered CGI still in it, and they're like, we're going to use that. Probably were a sign of things to come, because this movie's bad. Don't go see this in theaters. Also, do not see this in 3D. We saw this in 3D, and there were like points I kind of pulled off my glasses. I'm like, there's nothing here. It's like,
nothing came flying at us. It really added nothing.
Yeah, there's no depth of field. This is completely a after or a post 3D rendering, and it looks.
It was an afterthought. Is what you're
it's It's just a quick cash grab to try and boost the numbers up a little bit higher. It's a worthless 3D venture. So, miss this. I don't even know what to go watch. There's been shit out the entire past month or so. It hasn't been a good movie. Came out in a long time.
Well, we have Bad Times at El Royale coming out.
Yeah, that's next week, though. Okay, I don't know anything I can tell anybody to go watch this week.
I'm saying that we have that to look forward to. Hopefully it'll be decent.
I've almost lost hope. I haven't had a good movie in a long time. I just had shit. Worst thing I've seen in a while. Shit. Oh, so yeah. Venom is exactly what you thought. A turd blowing in the wind. So, hey, that's our review. That's me being hoarse. Hopefully next week I will have a voice again.
Of course.
Yeah. A horse is horse. I don't know. I think I fucked that line up really bad. So, hey, we'll see y'all next week. Hopefully at Bad Times at El Royale. I'll put up with it being... Because it's better than whatever the fuck I just watched. I have no hope anymore, people. It's nothing left. No happiness. So until then, everybody...
Also, work is not just of our will to live.
Huh?
Also, work is not just of our will to live.
That's Amazon for you. Amazon's a horrible corporation. Those who buy shit from it are horrible people. Just saying. Y'all shouldn't buy from Amazon. So, hey, we'll see y'all later. So, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.